There is a moment, not measured by time, that exists before the first breath, a realm untouched by the noise of the world, where silence speaks in waves of remembrance. You were there, not as a body, not as a name, but as a vibration. And in that sacred space, something was known, then forgotten. Before the womb, there was a choice, not made with words or logic, but with essence. You chose an experience, a configuration of pain and beauty, fear and revelation. And as you descended into form, you passed through a veil, thick, luminous, deliberate, that erased the memory, leaving only a trace, like a whisper lost in wind. This is not mythology. This is the architecture of consciousness. The book they tried to hide, the one buried in shadow passed between mystics in secret, speaks of this pre-birth state, not as fantasy, but as encoded truth. Within its pages, unspoken by ordinary minds, lies the map of that in-between, the corridor where souls are briefed by light itself, where you sat across from beings not bound by flesh, where you were asked one sacred question: are you ready to forget so you can remember? And you said yes. You said yes to heartbreak, yes to wonder, yes to limitation, so you could remember your limitlessness. You didn't come here empty. You came carrying agreements, silent contracts etched into your field, echoes of vows made before form. This is why some places feel familiar. Why some people break you open just by looking into your eyes. It's not random, it's a recall. Now something inside you is stirring, the faint pulse of that original knowing. You can't see it with your eyes, you must feel it. Beneath the stories, beneath the noise, beneath the masks you wear, there it waits. Not all are ready to awaken this memory, but you are. Otherwise, these words would not find you now. Si estas palabras ya tocaron tu alma, suscríbete al canal y comparte en los comentarios. ¿Qué vibración sientes ahora dentro de ti? Ahora vamos a continuar. Before your breath met air, before your skin knew temperature, you stood before a circle of presence, not human, not alien, but luminous. A council. They didn't speak in language, they transmitted. Their frequency entered you like music made of truth, and in their gaze you remembered who you truly are. You were not judged, you were witnessed. They showed you a life, this life, not as punishment, not as reward, but as a precise reflection of your soul's intention. Every detail mattered. Your family, your body, your challenges, your gifts. All were seen, felt, and chosen. You were not alone in this choosing. The council, ancient and benevolent, offered insight, but the final decision was always yours. Some souls tremble, some decline, but you, with sacred courage, accepted. You saw your mother before she held you. You felt her struggles, her longing, her silence. You saw the path your father walked, the inherited wounds he never named, and still, you said yes. Not out of obligation, out of purpose. You signed an agreement not with ink but with vibration. It resonated through the entire field of your being. This agreement was not about achievement or status. It was about remembrance. That, through the forgetting, you would find your way back to the truth. That every encounter would serve as a mirror. That every heartbreak would be a doorway. You would enter the illusion fully. The illusion of separation, of time, of loss. But encoded in your field would be fragments of remembrance, symbols, dreams, synchronicities, each one a breadcrumb leading you home. The council did not promise ease. They promised meaning. They reminded you Earth is a dense field. Many go to sleep within it, but some awaken. And when they asked once more with infinite love, "Are you ready?" You didn't answer with words. You stepped forward. That was your yes. And so the descent began. Not a fall, but a dive. Into gravity, into forgetting, into form. Yet within you, even now, that sacred agreement still vibrates, like a song you've heard before but can't quite place. You didn't come to escape the darkness. You came to remember the light within it. The moment you crossed the threshold from spirit to form, a veil descended, soft as mist, yet potent enough to erase eternity. It wrapped around you, not as punishment, but as preparation. This veil is the master illusion. It whispers, you are separate, you are alone. You are just a body, just a mind, and most believe it, but not you, not forever. The Earth Matrix is a school unlike any other. It teaches through contrast, through limitation, through time. You were once a being of pure awareness, unbound by death, untouched by confusion. But to evolve further, you had to forget what you were, so you could choose to remember it again within density. You entered a system designed with precision. Gravity not only held your body, it held your perception. You forgot your name beyond names. You forgot the music of the stars. You forgot that every being you meet is you in another form. And in that forgetting, fear was born. The illusion of being separate from Source hardened into belief. Belief became identity. Identity became suffering. But hidden within the code of this matrix are keys. Sacred interruptions, sudden moments of awe, the softness of a child's eyes, a sunset that feels like déjà vu, a stranger's kindness that melts something ancient within you. These are cracks in the veil. Some call them coincidences. But you know better. The veil is not the enemy, it is the cocoon. And you, the dreamer inside, are beginning to stir. Something in you remembers the warmth before the womb, the language without words, the promise made in the light. The Matrix will offer you distractions, success without peace, knowledge without wisdom, stimulation without stillness. But beneath it all, the real invitation awaits. The inner pull to return to your essence, to live from presence, to love as if separation never existed. You were not meant to stay asleep. That's why this message feels familiar. Why, as you read, a silence opens inside you, not empty, but full. This is the beginning of your reawakening, not a search for something new, but a return to what never left. Nothing in your life is random, not the heartbreak that shattered you, not the joy that made your eyes well with tears, not even the silence between your thoughts. Before you entered the womb, you made agreements, not contracts of punishment or reward, but sacred alignments, with souls, with events, with lessons, each one a thread in the tapestry of your evolution. You sat not in a courtroom but in a field of light and felt your path. You saw the pain you would carry and how it would polish you. You saw the ones who would hurt you and how their shadows would awaken your light. And you agreed, not out of martyrdom, but out of devotion to growth. These soul contracts are alive. They vibrate beneath every encounter, every fork in the road, every synchronicity. They are not cages, only they are invitations. And within each one lies a question. Will you respond from fears or from remembrance? The people who challenge you most, they are not mistakes. They are mirrors, agreements, sometimes karmic, always precise. Some came to open your heart, some came to break it. Both are sacred. This is the hidden architecture of your incarnation, an intelligence far beyond human logic. And though free will exists, it dances within the rhythm of your soul's deeper plan. Every choice you make either aligns you with that plan or delays it. But even delay is woven into the design. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the architect of meaning. And when you remember this, something shifts. Life stops being a puzzle to solve and becomes a conversation to deepen. These contracts cannot be seen with eyes, but you feel them, in dreams, in patterns that repeat, in the magnetic pull towards certain people, in the strange recognition of, I've known you before. That's not poetry, that's memory. To walk this path is not to escape pain, but to walk with it awake, knowing that every soul you meet is a participant in your becoming, including you, especially you. You are the center of your sacred design, and now you're beginning to remember, not all guidance comes from this realm. Much of what moves you, stirs you, protects you, is unseen. These are the echoes from the in-between, from the space you passed through before birth, from the ones who remained behind the veil, watching, waiting, whispering. You did not come here alone. A part of you stayed behind, not as abandonment but as anchor. That part, still luminous, still whole, remains in the higher realm, sending signals through intuition, through symbols, through dreams that feel more real than waking life. You felt it. That sudden stillness in the middle of chaos. that inexplicable knowing before something happens. That warmth, not from the sun but from within your chest. These are not accidents, they are contact points, messages, signs from the other side of the veil, the side you once called home. Some come from your soul family, the beings who love you beyond conditions. They have no faces, no names, but their presence is unmistakable. They send you nudges, warnings, love. Not to interfere, but to remind, to help you stay aligned with the path you chose. Others come from your own higher self, the you that never forgot. It communicates not through language, but through resonance, a feeling that vibrates deeper than thought. The more present you become, the louder these whispers grow, not in volume, but in clarity. And sometimes they come when you need them most, when you're ready to quit, when you've lost your way, when you've fallen into despair. In those moments, a light flickers inside, not because it suddenly appeared, but because you finally became still enough to see it. The in-between is not far. It's here, overlaying this reality like a transparent film. And those who listen, truly listen, find that guidance was never missing, only muffled by noise. This is why meditation matters, why silence is sacred, why nature heals. In those spaces, the bridge opens. You return, if only for a moment, to that place before birth, and receive what you had forgotten. You are always being guided, not from above, from within. The universe doesn't shout. It whispers, through patterns, through alignments, through the quiet choreography of events that defy logic but speak to the soul. This is the language of synchronicity, the signature of the unseen realms touching form. You've experienced it. The number that keeps appearing, the song that plays with perfect timing, the stranger who speaks the exact words your heart needed to hear. These are not coincidences. They are conversations, proof that the veil is thinned and listening. Before you were born, you embedded codes into this life, moments of resonance that would help you remember. These synchronicities are those codes activating, a way for your soul to say, yes, this is the path, keep going. They are the response to your vibration. The more you align with your true self, not the mask, but the essence, the more the world bends to meet you. Life becomes less about effort, more about attunement. You begin to move in rhythm with a pulse that was always there, waiting. Synchronicity is not just magic, it is feedback, a mirror showing you where you stand in relation to your soul's frequency. When you're off path, things resist. When you return, flow returns, but it requires presence, attention, a slowing down of the mind so you can hear what's not being said. Some signs are small, others shatter your timeline. You miss a flight and meet someone who changes your life. You lose a job and awaken a gift you never claimed. The mind will call it chance, the soul calls it design. To live in dialogue with the universe is to trust, not blindly but deeply. It means letting go of control just enough to receive what's already moving toward you. It means knowing that when something leaves, something more aligned is approaching. This is how the unseen world speaks to you, not in commands but in invitations. Will you notice? Will you respond? Synchronicity is the reminder that you are not just on a path. You are in a relationship with the mystery, with the map, with the part of you that never left the light. Before you opened your eyes, before the world touched your skin, you floated, cradled in a sea of vibration, suspended between dimensions. The womb was not just biology, it was a sacred chamber, a transitional temple, a portal where the soul prepared to become matter. You were not asleep there. You were remembering how to forget. Each sound, each pulse of your mother's body shaped your field. Her thoughts, her fears, her dreams, they soaked into your energy like water into cloth. You were receiving imprints, not just DNA, but emotional resonance, patterns, memories not your own, but now carried within you. This was not accidental. It was initiation. The womb is the first mirror. It teaches us how to relate to vibration, to safety, to tension, to love, to lack. And this vibration, once embodied, becomes the lens through which we see the world. Some of you felt welcomed, others rejected. Some felt peace, others chaos. Whatever was present, became the foundation. But you were never powerless in that space. Even there you held awareness. Even there you communicated, not through words but through energy. You reached for the light. You reached for the body that would house your mission. And when the moment came, the moment of passage, you moved through the narrow gate, the corridor of birth, the collapse of timelessness into time. The breathless dive into the forgetting. You arrived crying, not in fear but in shock. The density, the separation, the forgetting of what had always been whole. But even as your body wailed, your soul whispered, "Remember." And that whisper never stopped. To remember the womb is to reclaim the portal. It is to know that you came with full consent. That your very first home shaped your vibration, but did not define your essence. That what you absorbed you can transmute. That what you inherited you can alchemize. You are not just the child of your parents. You are the child of light wrapped in matter. And the womb was your chrysalis. You are now emerging, still carrying the codes, still humming with the sound of the stars. And deep inside, the memory stirs. We did not forget by accident. We forgot by design. The moment the breath entered your lungs and the light pierced your eyes, the great amnesia fell like a curtain. All the memories of stars, of councils, of soul families and vast knowing slipped into the background. Not erased, just veiled. But why? Why would a soul of light, infinite and aware, choose to descend into forgetting? Because to awaken within the illusion is more powerful than to remain awake outside of it. This realm was built for transformation, and transformation requires friction. You cannot evolve only through bliss. You must walk through shadow to remember your radiance. The forgetting is not a flaw. It is the very condition that allows free will, discovery, and mastery to unfold. To be born into this world is to enter a game with the instructions hidden, and yet you agreed to play. You trusted that at the right moment, a whisper would rise from within, and the forgetting would begin to fracture. That moment might be now. The forgetting teaches empathy. How could you understand suffering if you remembered your eternal safety? How could you grow compassion if you never felt the ache of separation? In the forgetting, you fell. But the fall was not punishment. It was descent into experience. Every challenge you faced, every night you thought you were alone, was part of this deeper unfolding. The map was hidden inside you all along. But the choice to read it, that was always yours. The beauty of this design is that the more you remember, the more the world begins to reflect that remembrance. People appear, doors open, energy shifts, reality reorganizes to match your new frequency. And yet, no one can force your awakening. It must rise from within, like a seed responding to light, like a soul responding to truth. You are not broken. You are in the process of remembering why you ever chose to forget. The amnesia was sacred, but now you are ready to wake up, not to what others say is true, but to the truth that pulses, wordless and wild, within your own being. You have walked through the forgetting. You have descended through time, through form, through illusion. And now something ancient within you is rising. Not a thought, not a belief, a frequency. The light you carried before birth was never lost. It was only cloaked, waiting. It watched patiently from beneath your doubts, behind your questions, beneath your pain. Every moment of longing, every shiver of déjà vu was that light knocking and saying, "I am still here." To awaken is not to become something new. It is to remove the layers that never belonged to you, to let go of the stories, the names, the roles you mistook for identity, to breathe and feel yourself as presence. The truth is simple, but not easy. You are not just a soul having a human experience. You are Source, experiencing itself through you. And when that knowing returns, not just in the mind, but in the body, in the field, reality begins to bend. Synchronicities accelerate, time stretches, compassion floods you. You no longer seek truth, you embody it. But this awakening is not for escape, it is for embodiment. You are here to walk the earth with the stars still in your eyes. to touch others with the remembrance they've forgotten, to live from presence in a world addicted to noise. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You only need to be honest with your own vibration, to ask, in each moment, am I moving from love or from fear? This is how the veil thins. This is how timelines collapse. This is how your pre-birth agreement fulfills itself, because the real mission was never to succeed in the outer world. It was to remember who you are, within it. And now, as you read these final words, take a breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your chest rising. Feel the silence behind the sound. That's you, the real you, timeless, vast, awake. Welcome back to your original light. The one you carried before the womb, the one you never truly lost. Now walk forward and let the world remember itself through your presence.